Ah. That's a good sounding delay you got going on there. One would presume we're maybe doing a delay video tonight.
Are we rolling?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, we're rolling. Okay. In that case, cheers.
Let's do that first. Cheers, everybody.
On that note, welcome back to Coffee and Pedals. We have many pedals. We have pedals here, pedals there.
Mm-hmm.
After much debate, there was quite a debate actually.
Yeah.
Shut up a minute.
What to do on this show? We decided we would continue with the theme of kind of the basic Boss pedals.
My very first pedal show, but not.
Was it your first pedal?
Well, no, actually, I don't think it was. What was
Many,
my first pedal?
but the conversation was,
Yeah.
it's many people's first pedal because a lot of people come in, they're like, I need a guitar pedal, and just because they assume that they need a guitar pedal.
Yeah, that's what
Not
we've
everybody
heard.
needs a pedal, but
Sure.
they're a lot of fun to have. So I encourage everybody to have them. But people say, I need a pedal. What should I get? And so it's always like, well, get a distortion pedal, get an overdrive pedal. And I was like, well, how much is this one? It's like $300. And like,
Oh, no.
that's worth more than my guitar is
Yeah.
or my amp or whatever. So they'll want the cheapest one. So a lot of times, I think a lot of people's first pedal is a Boss DS-1.
Come on.
And it's been around for decades.
Ages.
They've sold almost as many as McDonald's has sold hamburgers, I think.
I would hope so. I mean, maybe if you scale it, I don't know how you're going to scale that. But, well.
Me neither. So we figured, well, let's throw the DS-1 on there because that's one of the most common first sort of guitar pedals
Yeah.
for people getting into there. And then sort of the, more mature,
Yeah.
older kind of statesman version of that, the BD-2, which is the blues driver, which is still, I feel like, a lot of people's first overdrive pedal. But it's usually
Would
the
be,
first
yeah.
overdrive pedal for someone who's like, not like a teenager,
Yes.
maybe not in their 20s, but someone who's like, I don't know, is adult the right word?
I suppose. I mean, you're still an adult in your 20s, not so much in your teens, although you might think you are. I would actually say, though, that one of the first times I really appreciated the power of some kind of dirt pedal was when I was a teenager, and it was with the BD-2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
You were very mature for your age.
Apparently I would. No, goodness knows.
We need to cue the CanCon now. That
Yeah.
I'm an adult now.
Yeah, I got the problems of an adult. I used to hate that song, but as I get older, I find myself relating more and more to it. Anyway, lucky enough to be involved in some kind of music program thing at a local music store, and they're like, well, why don't you try this blues driver out through this huge vintage Bassman stack?
Oh, wow. Cool.
It blew my mind, man. It was awesome. I was like, no, I want something with like some real, like a heavy metal, metal zone or something like that. And I was just like, okay, wait, no. The blues driver gets where I want it to go. So yeah, we're here to sit down and put them through their paces, and they're different pedals.
They're definitely, I mean, I gotta say, I haven't really sat down and spent a lot of time with
No.
the DS-1. I'm sure I've plugged in and tried it, but this is a great opportunity to see what these things can do.
Sure. Yeah.
So we got the blues driver,
Mm-hmm.
we got the DS-1. Tonight we're plugged into the Soldano Astro 20.
The Astro.
I think we'll be keeping it on the clean channel because I feel like both of these pedals are distortion and drive pedals that people would use into a clean amp as opposed to like the SD-1, which we
Yeah.
were talking about, which is more something people use to boost
Exactly.
an overdriven one. So we'll probably keep it on the clean channel. We do have yet another Boss pedal.
Can you see it?
This is also not paid for by Boss. Let's say, but it just happened. We were like, hey, let's use the basic Boss pedals. We got the DD8 in there for a little bit of atmosphere and make us feel good when we're playing as
Yeah.
well. So we can pull that one in and out as needed.
Call them confidence boosters,
The confidence booster. They're both off right now. I got this cool EVH SA126.
That thing is 126. Good night, everybody.
Well, on that note, let's hear the clean tone. There we go. Nice
Hey.
and clean, nice and fat.
Yep.
And why don't we hear the clean tone of your Telecaster?
Player 2 Series Telecaster. Let's give it the neck pickup just for good measure. There we go.
Okay. Now the big decision. Which one first?
Oh my gosh. Let's go with the Blues Driver first on
Start with
account
Blues
of
Driver?
it was, the story I told. So, yeah.
It'll take you back to your youth.
I know. I get nostalgia. Waves of warm nostalgia.
All right. So
Yeah.
something we noticed right off the bat with these two, which is a little confusing, is the knobs have the same layout, but they're different. So we've got on the Pedal Cam 3000 here, they both have the gain or distortion knob on the far right, but on the Blues Driver, the middle one is a tone, and the level is on the left, and on the DS-1, the middle one is the level, and the tone knob is on the left.
I don't know, man. I'm a tone in the middle kind of guy. It just feels right. And I love you, DS-1. I really do. But get it together. Is what I would like to say.
So hopefully we can navigate that. But let's fire on the Blues Driver. We got the gain in the middle. We got the tone knob, which is in the middle.
Yes, thank you.
And the level right now is a little bit below the middle. Hopefully that's not going to
All right.
blow ourselves up here. Let's see.
Hey, that gets you what you want. And there's a lot more room to go on that thing. That's like, honestly,
It's only halfway up.
It's only
in terms
halfway
of
up.
The gain there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I from what I remember, I haven't plugged into a Blues Driver in a while, but I think when you get into the top end of the gain here, you start getting into DS-1.
that's that crossover.
amount of gain.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The lower end of the DS-1's somewhere on that there.
Yeah.
But pretty cool.
There's going to be tonal differences we're going to notice as we go
Let's hear with the humbuckers.
Let's go, yeah.
On that same sort of gain setting. And then we can move on in the gain spectrum. Whoop. All right, cool.
All right.
It's pretty warm. It's pretty
Yeah.
fat.
Well,
Where-
it's worth noting you're on a semi-hollow on the neck pickup as well. I mean,
Yeah, so of course, if
It's
I
okay.
flip it over to the bridge,
I'll give it a... Yep.
Cool.
Yep. That's rock tone. That's the tone that rocks.
it does rock, kind of in a blues rock way.
In a blues
I would
rock
say
way,
it blues
you know,
rocks.
yeah, I would say
It is a
blues
blues
rocks.
driver after all. So
sense.
we're halfway. Let's go up to 3/4.
Sure.
And what does that do?
We'll find out.
That sounds awesome.
That was pretty cool. I gotta
I mean,
say.
I don't know how you couldn't be happy with that. That's
No.
pretty cool. What's it like on your
Let's find out.
single coils there?
I'm gonna turn the volume back up there. It gets juicy enough that it makes me want to chug the low E, which I think is my barometer for like, okay, now we're entering into the distortion zone. Not the metal zone. That's another video, I think.
That's another pedal.
It is indeed.
So we're 3/4 of the way up. What happens? What happens? We go all the way.
I don't know if I can play anymore. Yeah.
You got the wrong guitar for metal.
I do. I don't know. You picked a humbucker thing, and I was like, I gotta pick single coils, I guess. And
just for the sake of it.
I panicked, guys.
All right. I mean, this is really not a metal-y guitar either, but still.
Nah.
Let's hear the humbuckers, full game. It's like polite metal, maybe?
In a way, I think if it's loud enough, you're gonna push into early Sabbath territory to some degree, which I think he was like using a Vox amp back then, probably.
Really? A Vox?
I saw a picture recently, and Tony Iommi's sitting there recording Sabbath self-titled, and yeah, AC30. Just, I don't know if he was hanging out with Brian May back then, what was going on, but yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, because we love to be proven wrong in the comments, mostly because it drums up our engagement.
I just want to...
By all means. Segue away.
On that note, I'm going to... yeah, please do correct us if we are wrong, because we like to be factual whenever possible, which is half the time.
Oh yeah, we don't claim to have all the answers. We just claim to be anecdotal and sometimes, if we're lucky, amusing.
So just before we move on to the DS-1, I just want to turn the tone knob up a little bit on the blues driver, because I know as soon as we get into DS-1, it's going to be like way brighter.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
Let's just see what this does for bright. That's pretty bright.
Honestly, man.
I mean, that's 3/4 of the way up. I don't know if I would want it any brighter than that. I mean,
it's tough. Depends what kind of mix we're dealing with here.
That would be pretty nasty. I mean, just to prove a point.
Are we gonna? Oh no! Single coils, bridge.
Telly bridge pickup.
Yeah, it gets shrill. It's I mean, it's bell-like and chimey.
It's not horrible, but it's pretty bright. Yeah,
it is bright.
I don't know if I would use it up around there.
That is a very specific tool, I think, that you're not going to want to, it's a paintbrush, not a hammer.
So, speaking of hammers.
Yeah!
I think it's hammer time.
Oh!
DS-1 distortion here. Okay. So we've just discovered, or proven that,
sure,
the blues driver can certainly blues.
It certainly can.
And if you crank up the gain, it can rock.
It can absolutely.
It can almost metal?
It can almost metal. It can
pseudo-metal?
Vintage metal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Get you close. It's not, I mean, it's not really the perfect metal tool, but in a pinch you can do that there. So now let's move on to the distortion. Let's see if we can do a little, obviously we know we can do some rock and metal with distortion, but can we do some blues with it too?
Can the DS-1 blues? I don't know if such an experiment has ever been attempted before, man.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Trust me on this. We're going to try it out. I'm going to put the distortion down about a quarter.
Yep.
What's that on clock? 9 o'clock for those of you that are keeping track of time.
There we go.
And the tone is in the middle. We'll start with that. I know this one gets real bright. We did notice, just as we were sound checking, the volume on the DS-1 is a little lower.
It's a little lower
than the Blues Driver.
Lower floor.
Whereas on the Blues Driver, we had it halfway up in the middle. On the Distortion, it's about 3/4 of the way.
Yeah.
So...
you want to start? I don't care.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me throw it on the neck pickup because now I got it back in bluesy mode here.
Woo!
And let's see. Oh, it's a lot quieter, right?
Yeah. A little boosty.
I think so, yeah.
There you go.
I think so.
There we go. Okay.
It's, I don't know. I mean...
It depends on the type of blues you're playing, I guess, doesn't it?
It's definitely a lot thinner sounding than the Blues Driver. The Blues Driver has this like girthy, fatness to it. It's just big and round. This one's a little more, it's a little more like you got your nose plugged or something like that. It's like, hello, DS-1 over here. But, this is one of those classic things where you're sitting at home playing by yourself, and you're like, oh, this bass is awesome. It's so rich and full. And then you go to your jam session with your buddies and you plug in and you're like, why can't I hear myself?
What happened? Exactly.
It's because it's too bassy, right? And the flip side of the DS-1, by itself at home, it's kind of like a little more nasally. But I'm sure as soon as you go and jam with your buddies, boom!
Punch everybody right in the face with your noise.
It'll cut through the mix there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's maybe a little low on the gain here.
It could be a little low for its intended usage.
A little bit more. Oh, that's
now we're talking. Here we go.
What's that? That's about...
it's 11, 10, 10:30.
10:30?
I don't know.
I gotta go.
Oh, wow. Hey, man. Oh, frick, I left the oven on. I'll give you a little delay.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice.
That is so nice.
That sounds great.
Yeah, man.
That's really interesting. That was a pretty subtle change on the pedal, but it just like brought it to life all of a sudden.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
That's kind of nice because sometimes you do want, like, I don't know, dare I say, that sort of lo-fi-ness of the low end of the distortion pedal there. And we barely scratched the surface of like how distorted this thing's gonna get, and we haven't even touched the tone knob. 3 knobs in the truth. I think Bob Dylan said that.
I believe that's correct.
I think Timothy Chalamet says that in the movie, actually. Yeah, that's the tagline.
Yeah, so no need to correct us on that because that is 100% fact.
That's a fact.
That is indeed. Do we want to hear the single coils at this level?
I'll give it a quick little noodle here. I don't know.
Noodle away.
All right, here we go. Volume back up. Bridge pickup again. Maybe I'll do a little neck pickup switcheroo here. That's just lovely.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the DS-1, it's definitely a little more brash than the Blues Driver is.
Yeah.
But I bet you it would definitely cut through a mix better. But at the same time, I found both these guitars sound a lot woodier through that one. that kind of like, I don't know how else to describe it, that woody kind of thing,
Woody.
Yes, Woodrow, indeed.
Woody words. I think it's a Monty Python sketch we're alluding to here. I don't know.
But there's that woodiness to it, like that almost neck pickup, stratty sort of thing. Comes alive a little more in that than that one there. But anyways.
I could not think of a way to articulate that, but that really sums it up right there.
Let's move on in the gain spectrum here.
Sure.
Well, we got to hear it in the middle.
Yeah,
We just have to.
it's just the middle here. You know
Everybody
what?
starts in the middle for
Why
no
don't I
particular reason.
go jigip in the middle? There we go.
In the middle.
It's crazy.
Everything in the middle.
Don't write yourself off yet. It's only your head in your head. Forget it. You know, the Jimmy Eat World song. About as middly of a sound as I have ever had the pleasure of hearing.
Very middle of the road.
Mm.
You know, what's interesting, though, at the middle setting, it's not very distorted.
It really didn't. I don't know if that had something to do with, like, picking a lane, picking a lane here.
Yeah.
You know.
To a certain degree. But
sure.
Let's go straight to 3/4 here.
Okie
And just
dokie.
slap it on that bridge pickup there.
Sure.
See what this thing's made of.
Wow. So you went through a whole gamut of the tone knob?
Right you are, Josh. That was quite the gamut.
Hey.
And that was the tone knob. You guessed it. You are our winner. All right.
Okay.
Woo.
Wow. I get to keep working at a guitar store.
Congratulations. You win. I don't know what you win. But yes, that was the tone knob. And wow, that was a powerful tone knob.
Very powerful.
Like initially
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm just going to roll it off a little bit. And then
Yeah.
it kind of like filtered like right away. I was
Yeah,
like,
it was
whoa, that was
sick.
cool. So then I thought, okay, let's keep going.
Sure.
And it gets like real dark. And then as we found, as you go up high,
Yeah.
it gets piercingly shrill.
It does. And it kind of has this way of like, as you're doing that, I'm like, oh, he's turning it down. I better play down here. Oh, he's turning it up. I better go up here.
I'm just chasing you with the tone knob.
Ah, stay away, man.
Kind of game.
You want to do the same experiment on humbuckers?
Well, I sure do.
Whoa!
Now that you mention it.
Okay, cool.
I'm
We'll start in
gonna
the
flip
middle.
over to the bridge pickup here. And should we keep the game where it is, or should we go full game?
Do you want to? You got the humbucker. What? Seymour Duncan's in there, right? Or what is it?
Probably not. It's an EVH guitar, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
assuming these are EVH pickups of some kind.
Hey, there we go. Smart guy over here.
Internet will tell us as well.
Please be nice to me. Okay. Let's freaking crank it.
Wow.
Give it up. That was awesome.
That is a wild ride.
Yeah.
Like, that tone knob is crazy.
This is so funny. We're sitting here going like, wow, this DS-1 is amazing. And like everybody watching this probably owns one or two of them.
Or at least has at some point.
Honestly, I don't know who this is for. This is maybe like the guys that don't have a pedal yet. Maybe you do
Maybe
have
it could
one
be
of these.
somebody's first pedal.
Maybe.
Oh,
It's too
how
bad
about
I
that?
don't know any music stores that sell. Nah, forget it. But like, it could be for maybe you're the guy that like does have one, and you've quote unquote moved on from it because you bought one of those $400 distortion pedals. Maybe this will inspire somebody to kind of go like, actually, that sounds pretty damn good.
Well, and I think the point is too that this is a lot of fun.
It's just a lot of fun.
Like you plug into this and it is fun, and that is kind of the whole point of playing guitar. I
Right.
think is
Yeah.
it's fun. We are having fun.
Sure.
And like this pedal, it's been around forever. I mean, it's been used by. I mean, I think like Kurt Cobain was using it some of the time.
Yeah, it's my go-to when people are like, "Oh, what's
But
that?" I'm like, Kurt
but
Cobain.
on the flip side,
Yeah.
like I think I've read somewhere. Correct me again if I'm wrong, but like Joe Satriani and Steve Vai were using these
Sure.
forever too. Like, I mean, there was granted much fewer options back then, but it's kind of you can get a very wide range of tones out of that little box, that little orange box.
I'm pretty
right?
impressed. Now, granted, I do think we got the best bang out of the buck for this thing when we dimed the what does it say, distortion,
And we also
Knob
have
on
the
there.
volume dimed,
which
as
is,
well.
and we're also playing out of like a $2,000 amp, which is
$3,000 amp.
$3,000 amp. All that said,
And the irony is not lost on us that this has some amazing gain channels in there, and we're using a DS-1 for a distortion. But that's not the point. The point is that it's a lot of fun. I mean, yes, I plug into the Blues Driver right away. I'm like, oh, this is great. It's very pleasant. It's very polite. It's nice. We can get some gainy stuff out of there if we want to. The DS-1 requires a little more taming and stuff. But man, there's some great tones in there, and there's a lot of fun. So it goes to show you, you don't need to spend a ton of money to have a lot of fun on guitar.
I would agree, 100%.
You agree?
Honestly, I should have picked up the Squier Telly or the Jet Telly for this video because that would just drive the point home even more.
Even more so.
You know, like, you don't even have to be the greatest guitar player in the world. Just have some friggin' fun, man. And, plug in, get loud, make mistakes.
Rock out.
Yeah.
There we go. And on that bombshell, I think we will end the show.
Yes.
Thanks so much for watching.
Sounds like a good place.
If you haven't already, like and subscribe. I'm sure you already have. And stay tuned for lots more exciting news coming from us and lots more episodes of Coffee and Pedals. See y'all later.
Adios. What the hell? No, keep that in. That's great. Gravy. Let's go home.